Okay, basically what I'm going to be doing now is a generalized testing of the new SF551 board I'm developing. This board is essentially the circuitry that normally goes into an SF551 Atari 8-bit 5.5-inch floppy drive. And I've basically scrunched it down and made it fit on a board that will go into the Atari SF314 3.5-inch floppy case and drive. And basically, we'll take a look here at the board. It's out of its case at this point for testing purposes, but as you can see, it's not anywhere near the size of a normal XF551 board. And just swing over here just a little bit. I'm using the SF314 power supply and also a couple of the parts from the SF314 board just to try to keep the conversion cost down a little bit, specifically the power switch, the power input connector, and the two AC filter common mode chokes there. You can see I have temporarily attached the new 13-pin data connectors. I'm not using the original ones from the SF314, principally because the cables that the ST used were pretty short and are not necessarily easy to be found. So I went with the CUI SD, I think it's SD130J connectors, and you'll need the plug that mates with that. Basically, you'll take a normal Atari 8-bit SIO cable, chop off one end, and rewire it to the mate plug in the proper sequence, proper pin signal relationship, and so on. Alright, so basically that's what we're looking at. I'm going to be, like I said, doing just some general tests at this point. I'll do some more tests as the days go on. I've got a control board that gives you track display information, allows you to switch the drive ID number and OS from a front panel instead of doing it through the jumper on the board and or the dip switch on the back of a normal XF551 board. Alright, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bit of a guided tour. Now, I have no sound because at this point I'm using the AV connection to my monitor, and I don't have sound going from the Atari 8-bit to the speakers. Okay, at this point I have everything powered up. I have a boot DOS 2.5 boot disk in the XF551. I have a blank disk in the SF314 drive. Everything's powered on except for the computer, and at this point that's what I'm going to go ahead and power up. Okay, so we're going to get into DOS. This is an 800 XL with a 256K upgrade in it. So we've got a RAM disk, and that's where we're operating from at this point. Alright. Now what I want to do is, I know the SF551 drive works, so I'm going to try to format the disk in drive 2, which is what I have currently set for the SF314. So we're going to use the I command. We're going to do drive 2. And it is formatting. Unfortunately, you can't hear the SIO sound because I don't have audio coming from the 8-bit. Alright, it has completed that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to duplicate the disk in drive 1, which is my DOS 2.5 boot disk, to the 3.5 inch disk. So we're going to use the duplicate disk, D1, comma, D2, Alright, and now we've gotten confirmation that it has completed without errors. The next step is I'm going to basically turn off the XF551 drive and try to I'll switch the drive ID to drive 1 for the 3.5 inch and boot from the same disk that I just formatted and duplicated from the XF551. Okay, now I've gone ahead and switched the drive ID to drive 1 for the 3.5 inch floppy and turned off the XF551. I'm going to go ahead and insert the disk that was just copied or formatted and duplicated. See if I can. Alright, there we go. And now we are going to attempt to boot the Atari with this disk. Okay, so Atari goes on. And it's setting up the RAM drive, or the RAM disk. And we're at the ready prompt. DOS. And voila. Alright, that's it for this short demonstration. Eventually I'd like to go ahead and create a specific board for a 3.5-inch floppy drive. This was more of a request to try to utilize existing case and hardware in the Atari world, and I think I've done it. Thank you.